This dude's 300 pounds of drive and discipline with a mindset that makes Goggin looks like he's on vacation. He built a life where pain is the price of progress, and he paid it in cash. This man's got stories that'll make your excuses crawl into a hole and die. So whether you're trying to build your body, your business, or your balls, ladies and gentlemen, Jon Andersen. Tell me your story.
Well, if you go back to what made me me was I was just kind of a dense little son of a bitch. I had a hard time learning, really difficult time reading. And so because I had a hard time keeping up with the normal, the average kids, I had to figure out a way to do it my way, which was the biggest blessing. Because fast forward, I don't do anything like everybody else. Thank God.
Were you bullied or something? I read something you were bullied.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I was a late bloomer, like really late bloomer, like, to get graphic, I'm climbing in the shower as freshman football. I ain't got a single hair in my dick. You know what I mean? And I was the only one out of like 80 dudes, So we're talking about bullied. Yes.
That'll get you bullied.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Does he now?
Well, I shave it now.
Oh, okay.
It looks bigger. Come on. We all shave it, right?
Well, I mean, I forget it's dropping bombs. I'm trying to be all, polite. Because anytime there's a lady in the house, I always try to clean it up a little bit.
She's going to think if you're trying to be polite, she won't understand.
Well, I tried manscaping once, and I guess I got too carried away, and I got out of the shower, and my wife goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean? I'm getting rid of it." She goes, "Don't do that." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because it doesn't look right." And I said, "What do you want, a big old hairy dick?" And she goes, "Yeah." So she doesn't want me to do it, but she doesn't also, want it all natural. So I guess there's a middle ground.
There's a middle ground. Yeah. I mean, because, you when you shave it down and you don't do it for a week, you got that, kind of like we wear our shit right here,
Yeah. So, but you were in high school. You say ninth grade?
Yeah. So
still haven't hit puberty.
Yeah, still haven't hit puberty. So basically the early challenges were my blessings. And that's one of the things that I think that like with my coaching, I really help people understand the shit that you think screwed you up was your biggest blessing. It's every time we have an obstacle, we get better. We develop a skill, and life never gets easier. We have to get better.
Yep. How come you think more people don't just naturally know this?
I think because, first off, people are too afraid to be different. That's one of the things when you learn to not give a shit what people think about you, life becomes your playground. The world becomes your playground. And that was, as a youngster, I was told I couldn't all the time. You can't. So I was used to hearing that. So when someone would say that, I was just, as I got older and I started doing great things, "Oh, you can't do that." Well, you might be right, but I'm going to try anyway. And all I was trying to do is release that dipshit.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in so I was born originally in Northern California, but then my mom remarried and we went up into just a little bit south of Portland, Oregon. And I had a great
trip. Salem, where?
A little bit south, actually. It goes,
Lebanon, where?
I remember you talk about Eugene, though, actually Wilsonville.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I grew up in the Willamette River, dude. I was very privileged.
Yeah.
So it's not like my story is because I was abused. I was just basically, I was a late bloomer, got picked on, and I ran to food to comfort myself.
You were born in 72?
72.
So what high school did you go to?
Canby.
Oh,
and I went to University of Portland.
You're out in the boondocks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So were you like, you weren't privileged, obviously, or you wouldn't be living way out there. You were just probably normal.
We lived on the Willamette River.
Oh, on the river.
Oh yeah, no, we were the river people. I mean, shit. We had to have, as I said when I talked to your people earlier, I've never had a job. That's one of the things. I came right out of college as straight as an entrepreneur. But before I was 18, the rules of the house was you had to have a job. So I got a job at the local marina. So I would drive the family boat to work. That tells you how rough I had it.
Yeah. Poor thing. All that adversity.
Yeah.
So I read somewhere you were bullied. So you were just bullied because you were late bloomer. Were you big?
No, I was a fat little son. I mean, keep in mind, it was all self-induced. Yes, I was a late bloomer, but I would get picked on, and then I would run to food for comfort. And so it was kind of like this thing where I was a little fat kid that hadn't really developed self-esteem. And then once I actually started to work out and I registered that, holy shit, working hard and lifting weights, that was the first thing I was good at.
How old were you?
16-ish. And by 17, it had really started to take. I was 17. I was the second kid in the school as a junior to squat 405, which was pretty big, especially for those times. Yeah. And that's where I started like, okay, I'm walking down the hall and I got a different vibe from everybody. I can get used to this. And so that just, at that point, man, it was like the blood was in the water. I just went for it.
How like, what would you recommend if someone out there has no esteem? Do you think weights is an instant game changer?
I think when it comes down to it, weights is one avenue, but really bust your ass at something. Work hard at something, get good at something. That's, because not everyone's going to lift weights. If you're a male and you feel like that could be a great avenue for you, but it doesn't have to be weights, And when it comes right down to it, that's what started my whole journey. It was like once I got locked onto lifting weights, everything changed. And all I cared about was being this big, strong dude. And I had no idea how I was going to make a living doing it, but I didn't care. I just knew that for the first time I was good at something. I was building myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and basically never looked back. And of course my poor mother, did not understand what was going on,
Were you taking steroids?
No.
You didn't take any steroids? No, imagine if you did, how much bigger you would have got.
It is later in life, the things that I did, enhancements are a part of the equation. But as a youngster, these are times where, that was like, I went to school in Canby. You know where that is.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is like, I think I was 19, maybe 20. I'm like, I got to get in shape. And I was hanging around a bunch of meatheads that one of them owned a gym and he was a buddy of ours. It was called Delps. You remember Delps? I don't know if you ever went to Springfield or Eugene, but
my brother lives in Eugene, actually.
Yeah, so he owned Delps, and so I'd always be at the gym with these guys, but I wasn't, competing or anything, and I was just lifting weights, so I knew how to do it. I just never liked it, and so they came around one time with some test and some D-ball, and you can get huge. I said, let's do it, and dude, I took like steroids, not TRT, like straight up steroids, and I got freaking pretty swole pretty quick. But I didn't like the constant everyday battle. And there's a lot of people that are like that. So like, how did you power through? Like, what would you tell people if they're like that, where they give up?
Here's the thing is, when it comes down to it, there's nothing you're going to take in anything you're going to do that's going to substitute hard work and consistency and tenacity. And once you get rid of the fact that there's a pill or a potion or a button you're going to push, then you start making progress. People get so distracted with looking for that button. What they lose sight of is the shit they got to do to move forward.
Yeah. Even with steroids too. Cause like a lot of people, they see guys looking like you and they're like, freaking steroids. It's like, dude, I'll bet you take steroids and don't do anything. And you ain't gonna look like that. Cause it doesn't work. I tried. I'm a guinea pig. I'm like, dude, let me just take them and see what happens. Nothing happens. Zero happens. Yeah. You got to lift the weights. You got to do the work, and then it just accelerates and speeds up what happens. But it doesn't. It doesn't. You hit it on the head.
Well, and the thing about the learning to work hard and going to the gym and building muscle and staying focused, consistency, that's a skill that's transferable anywhere.
Yep.
That's why I became successful in business. I came right out of college. I had no interest at getting a job. I had no interest of commuting to work. So I just started businesses and
selling steroids. What'd you do?
I came right. Funny enough, my first ever business was way ahead of its time. Was meal prep. Because I was eating chicken and rice like it's going out of style. And I know that there are other people doing it. I thought, well, shit, if I package this stuff, I can sell it to gyms. And it actually took off at first. The problem was logistically, it just rolled over on me. I couldn't keep up with what was going on.
I never heard of meal prep back then.
It was way ahead of its time. way ahead of his time. And so, through basically that, I've given the best I could, but I failed. This shit happens. You get up and you try again. Well, I was hungry at that point, man. I was hungry. Didn't have any money. It was like driving a little CRX, didn't have a second gear, so you weren't going up any hills. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to start a business where I know I can make some money because I'm hungry. And that was painting. In college, I made a grip. I'd go door to door. Hey, I'll paint your house for $1,500. I'm a college kid, and people were all over it. And so I'd hire Buddy to help me paint it. I get to paint for a couple $100. We do it in a week. I make like $1,000 in a week as a college kid. We're talking 1991. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but keep in mind, that's just a season. Oregon rains all the time. So I'm in California now, right? And I'm thinking, well, shit, I'll just go back to doing that. But this time, I hired people to do it. But I came out of the gate, dude, completely illegal. No license, no insurance. My business was a truck. That's all it was. And I basically built that thing 5 years later. I built it. We were doing over $1 million in revenue. I sold it for $500,000. Pow. That was my first real win.
You were doing $1 million and sold it for 500?
Well, keep in mind, it's the revenue. You sell it based upon the profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing top line $1 million.
Yeah.
So, but someone bought it.
Yeah.
And you didn't have what'd you go to college for?
You're going to love this. So I got a major and a minor. Did not choose this. It just kind of happened. It was the easiest way for me to graduate. My major is theology. My minor is philosophy. Yeah.
Let me make sure this ain't an emergency. Hello, babe. You're on Dropping Bombs.
Oh, boy. Do you have any idea where your truck key is?
Yes, it's out in the garage on the water heater little thing in the garage where the Ferrari is.
Okay, perfect. I'm getting all the cars blocked.
Hey, text me when it's an or when it's not an emergency, and call me when it's an emergency. All right. Love you. I hate when she calls me because one time she called me and it was like an emergency. And so now every time that phone rings, I'm like, shit. Yeah. And then I tell her too, call when it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to answer. I don't care where I'm at. I'm answering. I don't care. You're on a podcast. I don't care. I'm going to find out what's up.
If it's got some of your kids, there's nothing getting in the way.
She needs the text to find out where keys are. I'm going to tell her again when I get home. So anyway, but again, I've done that before on a podcast. People are like, dude, you just don't care, do you? It's like, no, it's the opposite. I do care. Yeah. Someone did that one time in a meeting and he said, oh, sorry, man. I said, brother, I'm the same way. I like people like that because it shows you where their values are.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Let's go back. So what were you going to college for?
Lifting weights and chasing women.
What do you mean?
Because I went to college because I basically graduated high school, right? And all I wanted to do is keep lifting weights. And I knew if I went to college, I told my mom, I got to go 5 years. I want the shit coming slow. And she was like, no problem. She was just happy I was going to college. And so I was just showing up and doing what I had to do to get by. I mean, I was working my butt off, but getting by. But it was basically another 5 years for me to lift weights and chase my dream. At that point, I knew inside that lifting weights and being a big, strong guy was somehow going to pay off for me. But couldn't answer the question of how, but that was in my guts. You weren't getting that out of there, period.
Well, again, it's not a bad thing to be physically, dominating too.
I made a fucking decision, period. And then it was just, okay, now I got to chase this thing down.
So you coach dudes now, yeah?
Yeah.
And are you trying to instill that into them?
Well, I mean, really, but 100%. I mean, when it comes down to it, my coaching is really about where I probably specialize the most is because I've been a business owner my whole life. And business owners, they get in their own way. And usually it's because they're afraid of failure. They're even more afraid of what people are going to say because they fail. When they don't understand that failure and success are like kissing cousins. It's part of the equation. You can't separate the two. And so when you help someone actually understand this, it's like a mental shift. I mean, shit, you're a successful dude. I've heard you talk about failure. You talk the same stuff, And so, when I help someone unlock this, it totally changes their life. Now, is there going to be some training? Is there going to be some nutrition involved? Yes, but that's part of the foundation. The real value is the mental training I do with them.
Yeah, it's all about minds.
100%.
You know what's crazy?
I heard real quick. I heard of some dude once say, you're basically the skill sets. You got mindset, skill set, and habits. And if you don't have the third one, you don't have shit. Who said that?
That's correct.
Who said that?
Me.
That's right.
That's what I say.
That's it.
Yeah.
I heard that and I was like, I'm locked on. That's good.
Well, I mean,
understand that.
Well, and it's the truth. Like, people think everything's rocket science. And it's like, dude, listen, I dropped out of high school. I didn't even graduate high school. And, you know, how did I make it? Everyone said I was going to end up in jail and be a big loser. And it's like, dude, listen, looking back is easy to see what happened. And it's like, I had the right, I somehow developed the right mindset to keep going and do shit that I probably, looking back, probably would have quit now. But if I'd have known Lightspeed, where we're sitting, would have taken 8 years to make money, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was happening in 90 days. And every 90 days, I was convinced I was 90 days away. So I was just dumb enough to believe it was 90 days away, and it just kept me going.
I say that all the time. People say, how did you do what you did? I said, I was just dumb enough to believe I could do it. And when you believe is a skill. When you believe, you can do whatever you want.
That's right. That even deserves one of those. That's true. So when people come to you, what condition are they in? Like, are they all different
types? I mean, you got guys that are. I mean, think about all of the different types of people that they all have their own unique problems. But the funny thing is they're focused on the wrong shit. What they don't understand is that the mindset is not only what makes the progress faster, but it's a lifelong change. And they're focused on, I got to lose weight. I need more energy. Okay, yes, that's a side effect of the fact that you're not straight up here. Are
people coming to you because they think they want to be in shape, and they realize, like, dude, this ain't a fitness program. This is a freaking life-changing program.
I mean, some guys will come in and because we're pretty selective who we bring on. Somebody comes and says, I got this cruise coming up. I need to drop 30 pounds. Get the fuck out of here. That's not what I do. You want to change the rest of your life? I'm good with that. Is that cruise one stopping point in the big picture? I'll deal with that. But if you just want to get ready for a cruise, take a hike.
So what do most people come to you want?
I mean, ultimately, they're looking to be. They know that there's something more. They just don't know how to get it. Whether it be a lot of them will have starting off. They're coming in with they're wiped out. They have no energy. They're not sleeping well. It's because they're not caring for themselves. They don't understand. When you level up, your whole life levels up. And people are like, especially the business owners. They're like, I need to do more of this, and they're looking at their business, and that's great. And you can do more of that when you actually take care of yourself. You got more energy and more focus. And, when I help them level up as a person with their mindset, their whole lives level up.
Where do you start them off?
It's totally individualized. Some guys, they come in, they don't really have energy issues. They're just focused in the wrong spot. Other guys, if I can improve their energy, people that have poor energy, 7 days, they're like, holy shit, I feel great. And that guy right there, now he's got the energy to do more of what he needs to do, right? And that's even before we dial into the mindset. I mean, I have a formula that I have these guys where it's so simple and it's so effective. Because here's the thing. If what I'm teaching is so complex they can't do it for the big picture, it's not going to last. The exercise is 5 minutes a day. And but you got to do it every day. And it just literally, it's neuroplasticity. It's dealing with the reticular activating system. Most of these guys, they look around and they see problems. When we finish with them, they don't see the problems. They see the opportunities that are on the other side of the problems, but they only see the roadblocks.
I'm sitting here going, dude, does he listen to my shows? Like, this is what I say.
I told you, brother, we speak the same language.
Well, again, like, dude, problems are opportunities.
Blessings.
They're opportunities.
Yes.
And then people are like, I can't find any opportunities. Well, that's because you're trying to avoid all the problems. Yeah. That's where the opportunities are.
Yes.
Or they're afraid. And I think deep down subconsciously, they don't value themselves, and they're not even aware of it in some cases.
Yep.
So I say, you want to raise your net worth, raise your self-worth.
Yep.
Like if you stop tolerating stuff, it goes away.
Yep.
So like literally you can write down on a piece of paper all the shit you don't tolerate, you refuse it to tolerate anymore, and those will disappear. So it's like just an exercise. Yep. I did it once. I said, write down everything that you don't want in your life anymore. The dude wrote down his car, apparently a hoopty pile of shit. And I said, and I'm going through his list, and I said, so throw away the keys to the car. He goes, what do you mean? I said, dude, you're not going to tolerate that car anymore. He goes, yeah, because I want a nicer car. I said, okay, so throw away the keys. He said, what are you talking about? I said, dude, get rid of the keys. Throw away the car. He said, dude, what are you talking about? And then I got to walk. And I said, well, do you appreciate the car then? He goes, yeah, I appreciate it for now. I'm like, well, then get it off the list. See, people don't realize, like, to be thankful. Even so. So now their gratitude, and then the gratitude all of a sudden shifts, and now their energy shifts, just their vibrational energy, not like energy, but like vibrational energy.
100%.
And they start to be grateful for things. And all I do is shift their perspective. So they see that, like, dude, this shit you're worried about and fearful about and anxious about, all you got to do is change the way you look at it.
Brother.
And all of a sudden those things are things to be thankful about.
Yes.
And it's like all of a sudden their life changes and they're like, wow, this is crazy. And it's, I believe, tell me if you agree. I believe it's because when your energy changes, right, it's going to attract more things.
This is the law of attraction right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
You teach that?
100%. And here's the things. People don't, obviously, they don't understand. Sometimes you say vibration. Oh my God, this guy's getting Gandhi on me. So there's certain things that I'm always careful to say in the beginning until they start to get a taste of it. Then they don't care what labels you use, right? So like you think of the abundant and the scarcity mindset. Some people don't understand that. They just can't process that. But you can understand a winning and a losing mindset, right? When you're in a winning mindset, you believe you can do it. You can believe you can do more. You believe that you're going to go do whatever, versus the flip side. When you're in a losing mindset, we've all been there. You get your ass kicked, your tail's between your legs, you lose your confidence. You wonder if you can do better.
You ain't got no hair.
Yes. So the bottom line is when we basically, the exercise I have them do, it basically changes the neuroplasticity in their mind. So they remain in that winning mindset. They see a different reality. When they see a different reality, they don't see the problem. They see the opportunity. And when you're looking around, all you see is opportunities. You're just running and getting them. You're not looking at the problem. Oh, God, the losing mindset, I don't know if I can negotiate that problem. Over here, you don't see the problem. Go get the prize.
Yeah.
And when you change the way they think, life changes.
It sure does.
Now, keep in mind, the foundation of it, got to get them eating right, got to get some movement. When I say movement, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. I don't give a shit what
do you have them doing?
What do they like? I don't want you to do shit you don't like, because that's not going to last forever.
Yeah, it won't sustain.
Exactly. So you get that foundation out of the way. That energy's there. The focus is there. Then I bring this shit into play. And my formula is called P3. Just simple. Simplicity is what makes me successful, and that's what I teach. Right? Most people look at me and they think they just see what I've done athletically. They don't know that I've, had created multiple 7-figure companies. Well, all of a sudden now the big dummy knows something. Well, shit, he did that and this. Maybe I should listen to what he's got to say.
What athletically did you do?
So I was basically a international pro strongman. Then I basically retired from that. I had a back surgery, so it was easier for me to move on from that one. I did that
because you were a strong man?
Yeah, it beat me up. I was on a littler side,
See, I always get people at the gym walking over to me, big dudes like you, and they're like, freaking, come on, put some weight on that thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I always say, listen, I listen to my body.
Yeah.
I think your body's a miraculous thing.
That's what I teach now, because, I don't, if someone wants to come and they want to be a competitor, that's not what I do. Years and years ago, I helped people with that because it was a passion of mine. I was in the middle of it. Now, I want to help people be the best version of themselves. And so anyway, athletic, I was a pro strongman, then I was a pro wrestler, and then became a pro bodybuilder. I became a pro bodybuilder in 2 contests. First contest, and I didn't even know it at the time. I basically got released from wrestling. And I was like, well, shit, I guess I'm trying to become a pro bodybuilder. I'm 42. People, you can't do that. Okay, you might be right, but I'm going to try. Won my first contest. Went to nationals, won my second contest. Had no clue that that was a really big thing. Most people never turn pro, and they spend a decade trying to get there. So because I didn't listen to all the noise, I just saw what I wanted to do, didn't see the problems, just saw the opportunity, went and turned pro in 2 contests, so became a pro bodybuilder. So I've had 3 internationally recognized career. And here's the best part, brother. That fat little boy that was just trying to find a self-esteem through lifting weights, I'd have cut my finger off for any one of those 3 careers. At that time, I didn't know how to dream big enough to do all 3. So
with the wrestling, what was it, like WWE or something?
Yeah, basically I wrestled primarily in Japan. I wrestled all over the world, but yeah, I never got into WWE. Basically New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I wrestled in Consejo Mundial in Mexico.
But that style of wrestling,
100%.
you weren't wrestling.
Paycheck wrestling, brother.
Yeah. I had a guy on here, and I didn't realize he was into wrestling as much as he was. I'm like, Dan, I think that shit's fake, and that's not good. And dude, wrestling fans tore me up.
Oh yeah.
And I've since changed my opinion, because it is athletic, and you can get hurt, and it is scripted, I would say.
Yeah, it's a predetermined outcome.
Yeah, and that's all I meant was like, you could kick my ass, but if they say I'm winning, then you're going down. Oh. And to me, like, that's not real. But it's really athletic, and people really get hurt, and you got to be skilled.
TV match, 15 minutes. I tear a bicep about 3 minutes in. I got to go 12 minutes with no bicep. But
and you just keep going. What if you stopped? Would they not pay you, or is it?
I mean, you just don't do that. I mean, what do you mean?
What was your name?
Strongman, because I came from strongman. I was a pro strongman, so in Japan they ate that up. Here, check this out, funny shit. So my first contract was this company called IGF, and they loved the fact that I was a legitimate strongman. That just parlayed right into the Japanese want legitimacy. They just don't want you to call yourself a name. Well, what did he do, right? So I'm entering the ring for the first time for this new company, and they're picking my music. I'm entering to Macho Man. I hear the music go, and I'm standing backstage, and he's like, go. And I'm like, now?
Not to that song.
That's exactly right. But they ate it up, and they called me Macho.
So were you swarmed? Because they get rabid.
No, dude, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so you crushed in wrestling. Which one made you the most money? Any of them?
Wrestling was good, for sure. It's, as I call it, paycheck wrestling.
What kind of money can a pro wrestler expect?
Oh, I mean, I ended, goodness, in 2013. But like in the bigger companies now, there's guys that are making, I got some buddies I wrestled with in New Japan that are making $15 million a year.
Shit.
Oh yeah, and then probably another 4 or 5 off merchandise. So there's a lot of money there.
If someone wants to be a wrestler, after hearing that especially, what would you say to them?
Go to the nearest mirror, take your shirt off, and ask yourself a simple question. Would you pay to see you? Because if you don't have the look, forget about it. You can be the best wrestler on the planet. Nobody gives a damn. Did you put in the work? People want it. It's a visual thing.
Well, how do you explain the ones that wear the mask in Mexico?
Well, I mean, it's a totally different culture. You know what I mean?
But here, you gotta be somewhat of a character, brand.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I see some nowadays that they're not that buff.
No, but I mean, for a guy coming in, that's what you tell him, because you got to get him focused on the right spot. He has to start working on his body first, because that's going to take the longest to develop.
Yeah. How long do you think it takes someone to go from, not crazy out of shape, but like definitely soft to like solid looking?
I mean, everybody's different. So first thing, we got to get that out of the way. But when someone follows my lead, I can strip body fat off them and put muscle on at the same time, and they transform quickly. And the crazy part about it is everybody still gets caught on the physicalities of it. And that's just kind of like the foundation, when you're eating right and you're moving, you're exercising, you have more focus, more energy. And this translates to the rest of your life, whether you're trying to become a business mogul or not. Taking care of yourself, dropping body fat, building some muscle so that you're a more high-powered individual is going to help whatever you choose to have it help.
Don't you think that ultimately conditions the mind?
The habits that like I always say, to The habits you create to build to get your abs, those will make you millions of dollars. You just got to translate those into business.
What do you say to people that think you're full of shit, bro? Because there are a lot of broke ass people with abs.
Well, but they haven't taken the habits. I mean, keep in mind, there are so many people that develop the habit to get in great shape, but they haven't taken that and put it into the other areas of their lives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get people at the gym coming up to me and they're freaking shredded asking me business advice. And I'm like, dude, it's the same shit you're doing here.
You.
I call it chopping wood.
Yeah.
Like you're chopping wood on your body, but you're not chopping wood at your business.
They're picking the wrong vehicle. You know, if you're going to put this effort into something, does this vehicle even have the opportunity to make you millions of dollars? If it doesn't, go find another one.
So people are coming to you for business, relationship, everything.
Yeah, 100%.
So how do you pick them? You say you don't take everybody.
Well, it really it's their intention. What's your intention? If your intention is like the guy that just wants to get in shape for the summer, get out of here. You say, hey, I want to get in shape for the summer, but I want to make this a lifestyle. I got you. You know,
where do you operate out of?
So, I mean, we basically everything is online because it's a worldwide market now.
But where do you live?
Oh, we're out of basically Palm Desert, and then we got a place in Mexico. We got a cabin in Tahoe. So we're living the life, enjoying our lives, changing lives.
Do you like have get-togethers and masterminds and?
You know, at this point, I'm really just focused on the individual. You know, that's probably going to be a part of the future. But at this point, I feel like I can do so much for the individual and I don't have to ask him to leave his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's definitely some power there for sure, you know, to get in or to get like physically around other people like that. I mean, as we know, you know, if you spend your time with a bunch of idiots, you're going to turn out an idiot. You know, you got to get around the right people. But generally speaking, the people that I'm working with, you know, some of them, you know, have themselves surrounded by really good people, others not. But what happens is the ones that are not, as they get better, those people end up leaving because they're uncomfortable with this new person that's being developed.
Yeah. So what kind of a time frame do you need to get someone serious impact?
I'm basically going to go in it's based upon the person, what they're trying to do. It's going to be a 6 or a 12-month block.
Yeah, dude, you can life change in that amount of time. I was thinking 30 days, 90 days. Can you do something in 30 days?
Oh yeah. Well, keep in mind, we can make tons of progress, but if you're coming to me and you want to have all this change and have it turn into a lifestyle, because keep in mind, habit is great, but we have to reestablish a new identity for this person. If ever get stuck on goals, okay, that's great. Goals are little checkpoints along the way, but you're going to get what your identity is. And if we haven't changed a person's identity, it's not a permanent change. Yeah. And that time is needed to change someone's identity.
Now, you sound a lot like a psychiatrist almost. Did you get a degree in psychiatry or anything?
No, it was philosophy, dude.
Oh.
That was my minor.
See?
A major in theology too. So I've had there's a lot of very spiritual and
do you believe in God?
I believe in a higher power. I don't really use the term. You know what I mean? I believe belief is a skill, brother. And I tell people all the time, if you can believe in a higher power and you can practice that, that's a great place to start. Because then you can take that skill as belief and you can start believing in yourself. It's very difficult for a person to, if they don't have the skill of belief and practice it, it's very hard for people to believe themselves. I mean, the way our brains are wired, Jesus Christ, it's like our brains are wired to look around. Our brains are the problem, as you know. Our brains are wired to look around and pick out all the problems. That's what kept us alive way back when. If we weren't programmed that way, we wouldn't be sitting here and dropping bombs. You know, we'd have been eaten by all the saber-toothed tigers. You know?
That's another thing about fear. Like people always say, you know, how do I get rid of fear? I'm like, I wouldn't want to get rid of it. I'd want to figure out how to use it.
Use it, baby. Oh, God. Fear is power. That thing in your gut is energy. That's one of the things I have become. I am so comfortable being uncomfortable. If I get comfortable, I get uncomfortable. It's like, this is not where I need to be. I need that little thing right there.
How do you do that?
Constantly pushing the limits, brother.
What limits are you pushing right now?
I mean, basically business is kind of my new sport. I'm 53, so I'm not competitive anymore. I'm pushing the limits with business. I'm pushing the limits with, my relationships. I mean, my wife and I were literally just talking about there's a whole nother level for a relationship to go. So I push every element of my life gets pushed.
Or it's just uncomfortable for you.
I mean, keep in mind, it's when it's uncomfortable, meaning that there's a progression.
Yeah, but I mean, like you realize that like that is the answer.
Yeah,
you ever read the book?
Yeah, 100%. It's I don't want people to think because people misunderstand this stuff. Being a little uncomfortable to get that thing that allow you to do when you wouldn't do when you're comfortable is really helpful. People think, oh my God, I can't live the rest of my life uncomfortable. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. We're not talking about sitting around like you got the flu.
And you're dramatizing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it gets comfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like working out, dude. All you got to do, is like do it maybe a month, and pretty soon, dude, you actually do want to do it.
100%, and that's the thing I tell people all the time. I say, look, when people come to me and like, hey, I have really hard time with with the exercise portion. I say, let's don't sweat it. Well, we're just going to get you out of the gate with a diet. Go for a walk, whatever you want to do, but you're going to want to do some sort of exercise, and once you want that, it's pretty damn easy. I'm not asking you to do a bunch of shit you don't want to do.
Yeah, you start to feel like you're missing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my boy bet me $50,000 I couldn't get abs in 90 days.
Nice.
So I'm like, deal. And
who is that?
Andy Elliott.
I was gonna say, I bet that was Andy Elliott. Yeah.
And he had to pay me 50 G-bones, and all I did was intermittent fast, work out consistently. It wasn't that difficult.
You made a decision.
Yeah, well, again, I also did it on social media, so now I'm going to really look stupid if I didn't do it. But at the end of the day, intermittent fasting, that is a hack. I don't care what anyone says. Why? Well, because, bro, I've done a lot of diets. I carried around the freaking tilapia and the bullshit. And what I learned every time was it's not sustainable, meaning I'm not going to do this the rest of my life.
100%.
So I said, I want to figure out something I can actually do. And now intermittent fasting, like I haven't like, been like that for a while. And I still pretty much have not my six pack like probably you have or he has.
But you're still in tight. You're good shape.
If I lift up my shirt and go like this, you can see six muscles, but you also see a little extra.
What?
But my point is, all I did was intermittent fast.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's sustainable for me. I live that way now.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great point, because one of the things that I tell people with diet is, look, I'm not killing you with details. I'm teaching you principles, because you can live inside these principles and it works with your life. If I give you details, that's what's going to break this down. So most people, they're always looking for a reason not to do it. Oh, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And they're thinking about all the stupid little shit that they've heard other people talking about. Well, those are just the dudes that don't know how to teach how this really works.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, if someone wants to be a world champion lifter, a bodybuilder, you got to worry about some details. But people that want to have great energy, look amazing, level up their lives, it's literally, I just yesterday had a client consultation, and I was telling her, look, dude, you do not get lost in details. You think about the spirit of what I'm asking you to do. Think about the principles. You have all that wiggle room inside there.
How do you get the freaking traps?
This is kind of left over from my strength career. When you're walking around carrying 350 pounds per hand, those things are taking some work.
Yeah. I need to get those up. It looks good when they're like boink. And then when I solid working out, only when I'm pumped, I can see them and they look good. And then for some reason, they just flatten out.
Yeah.
So, I know how to do it. It's just like, I guess I just don't want to do the work. What do you say to those people that they know how to do it? They just don't. But they can't, but what they want is to figure out how to get past the pussy shit.
Well, and here again, that's where most people, they're looking for the reasons why they can't or why they shouldn't. And when it comes down to it, when you have somebody help you understand how it works with the proper information, it's so much easier and streamlined than people think. And so most people have this idea that's just ridiculous. It's because the internet is just filled with all of these programs. Well, you have to do exactly this and exactly that. And that's not a sustainable thing. That's not going to be a lifelong change. And so the guy that's basically feeling like he can't do something, because usually he's focused on the wrong shit. Or he hasn't been exposed to the right way to do it, to understand how efficient and streamlined, how good it can make him feel. One of the things I say is most people have no idea how bad they feel until they finally feel good.
That's a good one. I need to know if I feel good or not.
You know,
because like I feel good. That's where I was going with that whole thing. The guys in the gym come up, put some weight on that, and they're wearing straps. And I'm like, you know, you ever have surgeries or anything for this? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I haven't. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, I've never had pain.
Yeah.
I don't have pain. I don't have headaches. I don't have backaches. My knee's not out. My elbow doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also not ripped. All the ripped people seems like they've destroyed their bodies, and like, I'll pass.
But those are the people that were probably trying to do something, you know, above and beyond. Like, to get in great shape right now, you don't have to destroy your body to do it.
No.
What people don't understand, dropping body fat is about 85% what you eat. But people are, people are always focused on the wrong spot. They're going to the gym. They're doing this. Oh, my God, what should my split be? I'm trying to get my abs. Dude, you're looking to the east when you need to be looking to the west.
That's in the kitchen.
Yes, exactly.
Have you ever heard of the egg theory, where you eat like 20 eggs a day?
I mean, eggs. If we were stuck on a desert island, and you're like, hey, you understand what we should eat to stay alive here, God's going to give us one food. I say, God, just give Brad and I an unlimited supply of hard-boiled peeled eggs, and we'll be just fine.
Wow. Why?
Literally, because it's a complete protein. I think the only thing it's missing is a little vitamin C.
What about D3, K2?
I think it's got it all.
What about hawthorn berry?
I guess at this point, what island are we stuck on?
What do you need? Do you need supplements? Is supplementation a big scam?
Brother, I basically, when it comes down to it, if you're eating properly, you're going to get the majority of your nutrients right there.
What do you think of all this, cabal, conspiracy that they're putting shit in our food on purpose?
Oh, brother.
To make us lose testosterone.
The tobacco companies bought the big food companies. That tells you enough right there, but it's not that like they made that public. You know, it's kind of crazy. If you look at processed foods, you know, this is why people are sick. If you eat the average American diet, you will get the average American disease, period. End of story.
Yeah. And it's in the food.
Yeah, 100%.
So what does your diet look like?
I only whole real foods. I don't even use protein powders because it's processed. I eat a lot of beef. I eat whole eggs, chicken here and there. But
whole eggs as opposed to half eggs, or whole meaning some special kind?
Whole meaning the yolk as well. Yeah. I eat egg whites also, but people think that the whole egg is bad for them. No, it's not bad for them at all.
They got you thinking cholesterol is bad for you.
Yeah, because cholesterol is so misunderstood. It's unbelievable.
Dude, there's studies coming out now saying, believe it or not, high cholesterol that would get you on medication isn't bad for you at all.
100%. It's brain function. It's sex drive. Give me some more.
Yeah. Is it sex drive?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah. Go eat some eggs, man. Go have some fun after that.
Yeah. A guy was in here the other day talking about if you eat 20 eggs a day, even if it's just eggs, like your growth hormone shoots through the roof, your testosterone rises, and it's almost like a hack, but you got to hit 20 eggs. And he goes, most people won't do it, but he does it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can take blood tests not doing it, and then do it and take blood tests, and you just watch all these levels crank.
Totally. 100%.
You're raising your hand. You believe that?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
One other meal a day.
Do you guys intermittent fast at all? Yeah, that shit, I'm telling you, that's the hack. I get buddies of mine because they saw me get in shape, and they're like, dude, what'd you do? I'm like, I just stopped eating.
Well, here's the problem with that is that, like, you're a great example of it works because you're an active, healthy person, right? You get this guy who his metabolic rate is so low, and he tries that. It makes it even worse.
Does it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I've never tested it, so I won't argue, but I'd almost like, were you sure? Because like I've never seen it not work for anybody.
Well, but keep in mind, you don't find many people where their metabolic rate is terrible. We're talking about people that are dormant, that, you know, are heavily overweight. They're usually not going to try something like that. And if they do, usually they'll end up getting too hungry and go fucking sliding off the deep end, eating all the shit that got them there to begin with.
Well, again, but that's mindset.
100%.
Because they're not too hungry.
100%.
You can go a week without eating.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, man, all you got to do is pick a window. Mine's like from freaking 1 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll eat anything I want from 1 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't eat. Like, you can't not eat. Like, dude, what kind of a pussy do you have to be to where you can't not eat? Like, it's called just don't eat.
Yeah. Oh.
You don't need that one.
Okay.
And it's crazy because, dude, it's like mentally in the beginning, I was like, dude, I need to eat.
Yeah.
But you really don't. And now the other day, because every once in a while you're supposed to break it.
Yeah.
So the other day I ate in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't even want to eat anymore. It's like eating to me. I think there's something to it to where you weren't supposed to eat all the time. I think we eat way more than we're supposed to.
100%. I mean, if you go way back when, we didn't have access to food like that.
Yeah,
You know,
and you had to hunt it and catch it.
Yeah, 100%. But you know what you're saying is really should be pointed out, that everybody has an individual formula, and you're talking about how that works great for you, and it works great for a lot of people. Sometimes not for others. So just for people listening, don't think that there's a singular thing that works for everybody. Everybody has their own formula. And that formula, as you get older, changes. That's part of what screws people up. That's why I coach with guidelines, not details. Because when I teach guidelines, they're moving with the progression of their age. And basically they understand what to do.
Now, folks, if you guys want to follow this dude, by the way, it's at the Jon, Jon Andersen with an E-N, not an O-N, at the Jon Andersen. How many followers you got right now?
Like 340-ish.
Yeah, well, you probably need about 3.4 if you ask me. Because again, I mean, forget you being in shape. Like, dude, you got the answers to life down. And again, I do too. And there's a lot of people that do. It's not like we're making new rules up. Like, these are just observations. And it's like, holy shit. Like, I wish I knew this when I was 20, dude. I would have looked like you the whole time. Like, again, I would have been ripped. I'd be a billionaire by now. If I'd have known what to do with this company 10 years ago, I would have raised money, burnt it, cranked up the ARR, and exited for at least $1 billion. But, you know, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, I'm not sitting here dwelling in the past like, dude, I should have done this. And, you know, and I'm probably not going to stop making mistakes. But at the end of the day, dude, if I died today, I'd be like, I was blessed.
Oh, brother. You know, people somehow, some way don't register how blessed they are. They wake up on the wrong side and they never, ever really get it together. I mean, the fact that you get to do it again today, that's worth a lot.
100%. What do you think the real true gift is, or the power? Because everyone says, man, everyone has the power. They just have to tap into it. What do you think that power is? I got my opinion. I want to hear yours.
It's all upstairs. I mean, once you reframe how you see your reality, at that point, you know, you're just running. It's like, you know, it's almost like being a kid, right? And you're going on an Easter egg hunt, right? You're just running around looking for these eggs, having fun. Because you've removed all the problems in the way. It's an exploration. Oh my God, here's another one. You're picking them up and you're filling it up your pockets or your bucket or whatever you're holding. Versus most people, they can't see the eggs anywhere, and they're not even searching for the eggs because they're being completely stopped by the problem, the fear. You know, and the worst part about it is, brother, most people are more afraid of what people are going to say about them than the failure itself.
That is true.
Who gives a shit what people say? You know,
a lot of people.
I have failed more times than most people have even tried, and I am so proud of that.
Yeah, well, dude, that's a secret hack that like isn't really a secret, but most people don't know it.
Yeah.
So what would you say if you had to, you know, keep it simple. What's the power that everybody has?
I mean, I think what it comes down to is that when people start to register that they have so much control over how they see their life with gratitude will change someone's life.
That's a fact. It'll change your energy.
Yeah,
and then once your energy changes, everything does. But I'm looking for like 1 to 3 words.
Oh, Jesus.
So the question, and I know when I say it, you'll be like, exactly. But I want to know if you've, basically boiled it down to the bottom line. We all have a power.
The choice, the decision.
That's right.
You make it. The first thing is once you make a decision, now go get it.
Yeah, but when you think about it, it's like, what's the power everyone keeps talking about?
Yeah.
It's the power to choose.
Yes.
That's all it is. We all have the power of choice. We have the free will. We have free will.
100%.
And again, I can't take your free will.
No.
You were given free will.
Yep.
So you have the power to choose. And when you look at it spiritually, well, you choose to believe or you don't believe. And it applies everywhere.
Yep.
And it's so simple that everybody thinks that there's some sort of, Marvel comic superhero power you have to find. And all of a sudden it's going to beam out of your chest. And when in reality, it's the power to choose. And if you just harness that power and realize how powerful that is, dude, you got everything beat. It's the power to change your energy. Yep. Like when I wake up, I used to wake up like everybody else and, worry about job and man, I need to make some money and man, how do I get rich and all this. But if you look at the energy that produces, it's not the heaven. I call it heavenly energy.
Yep.
Most people call it positive. I just started saying heavenly not too long ago, just to see how long it's going to take for everyone to say heavenly energy, because no one's ever said that.
I like that.
I say it.
Setting a trend, baby.
Well, it's heavenly energy. Why? Because just imagine you're in heaven. What kind of energy would be up there? You'd have your courage and your kindness and your generosity and your gratitude and your, it's just heavenly energy. So you don't have to pick one. Just make sure it's heavenly. Then there's earthly. Well, what's down here on the earth? Well, that's where the fear and the anxiety and the worry and the depression and the doubt, so there's all these energies and they exist. Everyone knows that and acknowledges that. And we have the power to choose.
Yes.
So it's like, why am I choosing to be pissed off?
Yes.
Why am I choosing to be depressed? Why am I choosing to be afraid? Well, you can't control that. Yes, you can. It's just uncomfortable.
Yep.
When someone walks in with a knife, dude, you're going to feel fear. Well, that's survival instinct.
Yep.
And guess what? Again, I might feel it for a minute, but as soon as I feel it for a minute, I ask myself, I've conditioned myself to think, do I want to feel this way? And if it's like, I'm scared, no, I don't want to feel that way. I just change it. Yep. And you can change it. That's the crazy part.
And on that level, for everybody listening, the human brain does not have the ability to feel anxiety and gratitude at the same time. So if you're all stressed out over something, leave that place, go to a quiet spot, sit down, close your eyes, and think about the things that you're grateful for. And immediately your brain will switch gears.
Yeah. Your energy changes.
Yes. And it's that idea, what you're saying is so true, because if you're still in that whole idea that, yes, you're on earth and you're dealing with all this anxiety, your decision-making process in your daily life is very different, which is not leading you to the success you're looking for. When you're talking about your heavenly, when you're dealing with that mindset, your decision-making process is going to take you where you want to go. Yeah. And it all comes down to, when your decisions are going to change your future. But when your decisions are influenced by anxiety or gratitude, it's simple math.
Yeah. It's like a radio station.
Yes.
If you get in my car and it's country music and you hate country music, you don't freak out and get all worried. You just reach over and change the station. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just people don't know how to do it.
Yep.
And it's like crazy when I think about it. Now, I don't have a coaching company where, I kind of do, but I don't. Like, in other words, you don't call me to get coached, call him to get coached. By the way, how do you handle that? Because it's like, I don't feel like I don't want to deal with everybody else's problems. I'm still dealing with mine. So at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you gotta put a lot of energy into other people.
Brother, that's such a good question. And I got to tell you, my purpose is changing lives. There's no question about it. And the more that I practice teaching, the better I get. It's unbelievable. I mean, when I have a call with clients and we have a breakthrough, man, I am fucking riding high. It's like it gives me this amazing thing. It's like, so it's I guess I'm not really dealing with people's problems. I'm teaching them that those are opportunities. And so I'm not pulling in negative shit.
So what if someone says, I just got cancer, man? How's that an opportunity?
I'm going to say, you know what? Because when we beat this thing, you're going to have a new lease on life. You're going to see things you never saw. So let's get to work.
Yeah. And again, it's hard to do, people listening, especially with serious shit like that. But like, it might be the catalyst that changes everything.
100%.
But not if you stay focused over here and you start getting afraid, you start getting worried, you start to hide and run.
Yeah, that low vibration will take you down the wrong path.
Yeah, and dude, there's you ever hear Joe Dispenza?
Oh, love him.
But I mean, he's got scientific proof that
100%.
a mind has cured cancer.
Yes.
What do they call it? Where it's like instant. It's like, well, I forget the word, but like, it's like, dude, people can heal themselves.
Yes, totally.
Physically with their mind.
Every thought that we have is accompanied by a brain chemical. And we know that when we live on this side of the fence where we're stressed out all the time, it'll kill you. Everybody believes that. Well, let's go to the other side. If the bad chemicals can heal you, the good chemicals can heal you.
Yeah. So how do we tap into them?
Well,
I believe it's choice.
It starts with a choice. And then we got to basically start working on that neuroplasticity. So you look over the top of the problem, like it's crazy.
But it's still, how does it start?
With a choice.
That's the power.
A decision.
That's the power.
Yeah.
And we all have it. That's the crazy thing. And no one will doubt it either. I go, who controls you? They're like, what do you mean? Like, who controls you? Well, me. Exactly. Yeah. So why are you choosing this and choosing that? They're like, what are you talking about? Like, I could barge into a room, tell everybody they suck, walk out, everybody's pissed off. Someone else comes in. What happened? This dude came in here and pissed us off. I pissed you off? They're like, yeah.
Happen. They've allowed
they
that
chose
to
be pissed off. Isn't that crazy? Like, and so when people start realizing it, their perspective shifts and they're thinking, like, why did I choose to have a shitty day?
Oh, brother.
Why did I choose to be pissed off?
So good. So good.
I must not like myself.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I always make the joke. We could be walking down the street and somebody might come up and say, you're a cocksucker. And I look at him and say, you know what? You might be right. See you later. It's released. It's done. I don't absorb any of that.
See, now you're going too far. I'd say, fuck you.
Well,
no, I'm not.
Keep in mind, if they said something to my wife, now I'm going to start tearing them limb from limb.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's some common sense here. Like, how are you, aren't you surprised that people don't know this? How did I know it? How do you know it?
It blows me away because the thing is they come and all they see, their lives are filled with problems, and that's all. And because their decision making is based upon the anxiety of the problems, they're blinded to the fact that this part even exists. And as soon as you get them a taste of that side, they're like, holy shit. And then once you help someone register that they can literally change their lives by the power of their mind. So many people say this, you control your thoughts, you control your life. Well, the problem is our subconscious is filled with all these thoughts that are fucking rolling around and we don't have much control over them. It's from that early programming. Well, when we start practicing with gratitude, we're changing. The brain is looking at, oh, I'm grateful for this, not, oh my God, I'm lacking that. And so we're basically retraining the brain to see the side of life that changes someone's life.
Yeah, and it changes their energy.
100%.
And then the energy requires
attract more energy, just like
exactly.
Them.
It requires more of it.
Yeah, people don't understand the law of attraction. It's because they're not looking. They're not looking deep enough to understand the chain of events that creates it.
So, how often do you guys forget yourselves?
Never.
Like you ever start getting pissed at something and realize?
No, brother. I'm telling you, every morning I have a 3-hour window that is me. I work on me every day for 3 hours before the rest of the world wakes up. Because at that point,
that's selfish.
No, that's so beautiful because you know what? I'm not doing that when the kids are playing Little League. I'm not doing it when my wife is sleeping. Nobody needs me when I'm doing my thing. So for those of you that think it's selfish, stop fucking trying to improve yourself when your loved ones need you and you won't hear this dumb shit. But you're too fucking lazy to get up before the sun and get the work in when no one needs you.
Or their belief system is all jacked up. And you know what they're thinking right now? Listen to these freaking idiots. These guys think they know everything. Like, I can just wake up and decide to be happy. Bullshit, bro. You ain't got the bills I got. You ain't dealing with the shit I'm dealing with.
Oh, of course, because the brain's always looking for a reason to say later or tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I love this saying. Waiting is going to get you one thing. Regret. Start today.
What would you say the key to success is?
Oh, I mean, we keep talking about, first off, you got to make a decision, right? You got to make a choice. And then at that point, once you've made a choice, now you've got to figure out what is your definition of success. Then you got to find the vehicle to get there.
Well, what's the key? That sound like keys. What's the key?
The key to
if success is locked and you're looking for the key, it's what's the key?
The key is basically understanding how to reprogram our mind. It's when literally with just literally practicing gratitude, we'll start to unlock those things, whether you like it or not. I mean, I would say when it comes down to it, there's a handful of keys that all kind of fit together, but that you can't even get to the first key if you don't make a decision.
So there's keys.
That's we could have a hell of a conversation about this one, brother.
Well, think about this. Maybe there's no key. Maybe it's combination.
Here we go. Yeah.
And everybody has their own. Because again, that's what I say. I say, like, there's no key, bro. There's a combination, and everyone has their own. So I can give you my combination, and it might not unlock yours. Why? Because you got your own. You and guess who has it? They do. You have to sit down and think about it and figure out what you think success is. Because maybe it isn't ripped. Because if I thought being big and ripped was successful, I would be that. But again, in my mind, I see injury and I see long-term pain, and I'm like, fuck, that don't sound like success to me. Well, it sounds like success to you. And I'm like, well, you know what? I think this is it. And then Andy will screw with me and Jack dudes will screw with me. And then I also think success is not worrying about what the fuck you think. So again, that's why I can do it. People are like, dude, how are you so confident? It's like, it's not that I'm confident. It's that I just don't put your opinion above mine just because. Now, again, in some cases I will, like if I hire a lawyer to, handle it, I'm paying for your advice. I'll freaking take it. But at the end of the day, man, everyone's so fearful of everybody else's opinion. There's a name for that. Allodoxophobia.
No shit.
Look it up. You can start telling people, bro, you got allodoxophobia. They're like, what's that? Look it up. It's the fear of other people's opinion.
That's what the fear of failure is actually wrapped in what most people are more afraid of what people are going to think or say than the actual failure itself.
Yeah. Cause like when you're a baby, you walk around. Like I got a little 3-year-old. She doesn't know that she's not supposed to be naked, showing everyone her bunghole. The other day I have company over and she's walking around naked. She don't care.
No,
we have to teach her, hey, don't do that. That's not good. And then they grow up and they start to realize like, shit, well, if you could get back to that level where like, dude, you don't care what everybody thinks. You're just looking for the eggs. You're just out there having fun. So think about walking, you get up, you walk, you fall, you get up, you walk, you fall. You're not worried about it.
If we were programmed with the fear of failure, we wouldn't walk as a race. We wouldn't have made it as a race because if we fall down, we're not worried about what people think. We haven't been taught that yet. So we get up and we try again. We just keep trying until we learn what we need to learn. And if people, just like you're saying, going back to that, if you could somehow carry that into your life would be so much different than the layman.
So what's your average day look like?
So that basically that early morning is my time. Right?
What do you do though? Give out some free coaching.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, the reason I like to get up early is because that's the time I know that is not needed by my daughters, by my wife, by my employees, none of that. It's my time. And so in that time, I'm always going to do something. I'm going to break a sweat. It's not for my body, it's for my mind. It could be, I might go jump on her gauntlet, which is like a revolving staircase. I might do some burpees. I might do body weight squats. It doesn't matter. It's to clear my mind, right? Then I'm going to do some sort of reading. I'm going to do some sort of, I do my P3 exercises. I journal. So it's really about, what it's all about is making sure that I keep my mind in that spot where I don't see the problems. I see the opportunities. I am, by the time the world wakes up, I am so freaking excited about my day. And that, what else does a person want?
Yeah. So you basically,
I'm primed up, baby.
Get your energy there and keep it there.
Yeah. And if I do my shit, you can't take that from me. And nobody can.
Is that all you do?
I mean, it's keep in mind, it always evolves. So like right now, my reading is probably a smaller piece of that equation. Now, keep in mind, one of the reasons that I always keep reading in, what I do is I have a non-negotiable of 1 page, because reading was never a strength for me. And so I always want to stay focused on a weakness.
And 1 leads to 10 anyway.
Exactly. But it's easy to sit down and think, okay, I got to read a page.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I love my morning coffee. So I couple reading that page with a cup of coffee in my chair, which is kind of like my place, right? So I create the positive association of reading that page with that coffee that I love.
What kind of coffee?
I love flavored like hazelnut or vanilla or something
Black,
like that.
though?
I usually don't put a creamer in it, you know.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. I never would drink coffee without cream. That's gross. Now, the other day I put cream in it. That's gross.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's going to be, it's going to be like a coconut milk if I'm going to put something in there. Same thing with my cigars, dude. I like that. I like that flavored cigar. Like acid is my favorite.
Dude, cigar in the morning with a coffee is the best damn.
I smoke
ever.
A cigar every morning. I smoke a cigar every morning at 5 o'clock.
Well, I started doing these Zins. So for some reason, I don't necessarily care about a cigar as much anymore, but I used to also. And I think it's because I'm getting nicotine another way, so my mind's not going to it.
Yeah.
And they're finding out nicotine's actually good for you. It was the delivery that was messing it up.
Yep.
I got one more for you, and I am older than you. So again,
how old are you, brother?
56.
Okay.
So I'm your elder.
You look great, brother.
Thank you. So I'm your elder.
Yes, you are.
So I'm gonna give you one more thing to add, and you probably are doing it. You just didn't mention it. Relationships. Now, it's my belief that at the end of the life, all you care about is relationships. You're not going to be looking at your trophies and your accomplishments and your bank account. You're going to be looking about, your relationships. So when you die, they're the most important thing you got, period.
That's the currency.
And then when you're born, if you don't have any, you're dead. You have to have them in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, they're required. Mm-hmm. And at the end, they're desired. So let's not forget in the middle how important they actually are. And what's crazy, dude, is even when I just need money. Dude, money comes from relationships.
Yeah.
Like every dollar we've ever received came from a relationship of some kind. So if you want more money, you need more relationships. When you die, that's all you're going to care about. When you're born, that you have to have them. So it's like we forget how important relationships are. So one of my morning routines is to figure out just five, who I'm going to text, email,
dude, I
message
text every morning, brother.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna ask for anything. I don't want anything.
Just giving love.
Yeah, I just want to reach out, see if I can help. Give them a compliment, whatever the case may be. And it's like crazy how doing that
it makes you feel amazing.
Not only that, but like it creates better relationships.
And the people on the other side of that. It's like, because I do this just so you know.
You should have said it because that's important. Most people miss it.
We were just still talking about the shit I do, and we got off track talking about something else. But I basically have 3 daughters, and I would say my wife and my mother. So all of my 2 queens and my princesses get a text every morning, and then I'll pick somebody else in my life, whether it be a friend, a brother, and I'll send out a text. Hey, man, I'm like my brothers. I'm so appreciative of them. And man, I just want to reach out and say, man, I'm really stoked that I had you as an older brother.
Yeah, and how good are those relationships?
It's amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they get up in the morning, they look at their email, they start to choose, coincidentally, to react the way they do. Start to feel the pressure and the anxiety and the depression and the worry and all that shit. And again, it is a choice. I don't care what you say. It's a choice. No one's getting in your head and making you do it.
Yeah.
So, and then that leads to the next thing. And then, I can't get to the gym because I got to get to work because I got bills to pay, and fucking my body is not that important right now. My bills are, and these are all choices.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, they're getting farther and farther away.
Yep.
If they just stop and get up earlier in the morning and make a simple morning routine, I call it the $1 million morning. You ever heard me say it?
I like that.
I call it the $1 million morning because I was on a podcast once and I said, hey, how would you feel if I just gave you $1 million? They're like, oh, that'd be a wonder. I said, well, what if you couldn't wake up tomorrow? Like, that's it. I'll give you $1 million, but you can't wake up. They go,
I've heard you say this.
Yeah. He's like, well, of course not. And I'm like, so you value waking up more than $1 million? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, why don't you act the same way?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, wow, I never thought of that. So I call it $1 million morning because of that. I wake up on purpose, and I used to put a sign on my wall to remind me because I had to condition it. It was, it's an exercise. So I'd wake up, boom, congratulations, you get another day. And as soon as I saw that sign, even if I didn't want to, I'd be like, that's true. And that is more valuable than anything I could do during the day. So like, bang, mentally, I'm now grateful. Then I realized like, I better like stay in that energy. So I get up, do a little exercise, get the heart rate. Yeah. Then I realized that I need new information. Why? Because the reason, well, not only that, but the reason you do what you do is because you believe what you believe. Yeah. And it doesn't make it true just because you believe it, but it is why you do what you do. Mm-hmm. Our belief systems control our decisions. They guide everything. So I realize if I need to change my beliefs, there's only one way to do it. You realize that? There's only one way to change your beliefs. You have to get new information. Yeah. If it's the same information,
it's the same loop every day.
Right. So you need new information. So I read. And again, listen to a book, read a book. I don't care. That's reading to me. Yep. So just get new information in my head. And this is my routine. I don't do it for 3 hours. I don't have the time. I don't have the luxury. Okay. But I do get up and do these every single morning. And so then after I do that, then I pick, hey, let me reach out to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And so that's the relationships. And then I focus on money. Why? Because I like it. Yeah. And I want more of it. Yeah. And so I focus on it. Like, what do I got to do today to drive revenue today? Like not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, today. Yeah. So I write down 5 things. Hey, I'm going to do these things today to make sure I make that damn money. And then let's see, health, mind, money, and then relationships. Health, mind, money, and relationships. So I get up, I get the heart rate going. I read, I freaking text a few people. And I write down 5 things I'm going to do to make money. And until I do that, dude, don't call me, don't text me. And then ultimately that conditions me and prepares me for the day. And I always tell people the same thing. Like by the time most people wake up, dude, I'm already freaking on fire, ready to rock it.
Well, on that level, you said, you don't do 3 hours. Well, mine started off at like 60 minutes. And it felt so good. I just kept ratcheting the time, waking up earlier and earlier. So now I'm waking up at 3 only because I want that time. I enjoy that time.
When do you go to bed?
8. Hard. I've been going to bed at 8 o'clock.
So you've never seen Justified. You've never seen Landman.
I don't watch TV.
You don't watch TV?
No.
What kind of what are you talking about? Why?
Yeah. I mean, because I when it comes down to it, I want to invest my time in things that really, really feel good to me. And watching, don't get me wrong.
Trust me, you go watch Landman, you're going to want to watch TV.
Like when my girls come home, I'm happy to lay on the couch and watch all the damn TV in the world because I'm spending time with them. But I just feel like my time, like watching a television show doesn't help me develop the thing that we're talking about.
Yeah, you're more focused than I am.
It's because it feels good. I want more. And so keep in mind, sometimes
that's the way I feel about Landman.
Well, my girls came home and we started watching Yellowstone. That's
another great one.
Pretty good too. I was like, holy shit! Next thing you know, I'm spending the few little spare minutes I got looking to buy a ranch. I was like, oh shit, man. Next thing you know, I was like, hey, honey, I think I'm going to drink this coffee black like Rip.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, just going back to what you said, I don't want, talking about the morning routine, I don't want people to think that there has to be some crazy commitment. It doesn't have to be 3 hours. It could be 15 minutes. I do what I do only because I enjoy it and it's time that I want to invest. It's like some people want to invest their time doing X. Well, that's my X.
What can the bomb squad do for you?
The bomb squad is all the people that are loyal to this show.
The listeners.
Yeah.
There's like 7 of them.
I would say, what I want for people is I want for people to take some of the things that we're talking about together, and I want them to take a piece of that, take a bite, and work on changing your life in the right direction, because people don't understand how happy they can be and how fulfilled they can be just by twisting their frame of mind, reframing. Sometimes just the simple little twist of how you look at something can totally, and that can be the spark or the glimpse that you need to start to understand the shit we're talking about that most people don't get.
And it is life-changing.
Yes, 100%.
Literally.
And then what happens is most people that take a glimpse, they'll get something, they'll make some progress. And what you're doing is you're really becoming almost like a leader for the people around you, because when people start to see that you're making change and you're changing your life, they take interest. And now we're kind of creating a movement here, and that's what my coaching is all about. Once people realize, holy shit, there's something here, I tell my clients, you cannot fucking bother me. I love this shit. You can reach out to me whenever you want to. And it's because it's like it's so fulfilling to change someone's life. And
you ever get relationship problems?
Relationship problems?
Yeah, like a dude that has you coaching him and they're like, hey, my girl doesn't want to have sex.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, that's a lot. There's tons of that stuff.
What would you say?
Well, I mean,
what if you're wrong?
Well, I mean, a lot of times when I hear that one, my girl doesn't want to have sex with me. Well, let's fucking drop that 50 pounds and let's make sure that you can stay up and you can give her what she wants. And I think these problems are going to go away. When was the last time you had a good stiffy? Stop eating that fucking Big
Who
Mac.
are you working with? A bunch of older dudes?
Well, my basically it's going to be 35 to 55.
And they're not getting stiffies?
Oh, you'd be surprised, dude. Erectile dysfunction is like one of the biggest.
See, dude, I'm just blessed in all the areas.
That's because you're taking care of yourself, brother, because you do what most people don't do.
But I really don't.
Well, but we're talking about the state of mind you live in.
Yeah, well, that I do.
That right there
and I'm in decent shape, obviously. I'm not freaking, too round. And sometimes you see me go this way, you see me go this way. Why? Because sometimes I just rationalize, I get weak, and I make excuses as to why I don't have to do it. When in reality, you won't see it anymore, by the way, because I elevated, matured a little more. And yes, you do have to do it, even for yourself. But point is I'm not in that great a shape. I don't do that much anything. I don't work my ass off. I don't do anything. Like I just fucking, it's easy.
But brother, because winning doesn't make you tired. Losing does.
Yeah. Hey.
So, I mean, and that's the thing when you say, who am I working with? You brought up.
Well, who can't get a stiffy?
Well, you brought that up.
Well, again, dude.
Well, because relationship problems usually is money or sex or both or kids. Those are the top 3.
What do you say to that guy?
Well, let's take a look at what's going on here.
But I mean, do you get personal? Like, can you get a stiffy?
I say, I literally say there is no topic off limits.
Yeah, he says, look, so I ain't got no problem getting a stiffy. She just don't want it.
Brother, I had a conversation this morning with one of my clients about sexual issues.
Well, well, she just doesn't want it.
Well, okay. Let's think about, she is kind of a reaction to your actions. So what is it that you're doing that makes her not want it? Let's.
Oh, you sound like her. Now it's my fault.
What, it's the dude's fault? Yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah, we're role playing.
Yeah, okay, we're role playing.
People are going to say, Brad's trying to get free coaching. No, my girl's good.
Because when it comes down to it, it is the dude's fault.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It's always our fault. People don't get that either.
Well, and
that's called ownership.
Yes.
Take responsibility. Look in the mirror.
If my wife is not happy, it's because I'm fucking up.
Somehow.
My security in my relationship, one of the huge pieces of my security is knowing that I do the shit to make her happy.
So if she cheated on you, would it be your fault?
Well, I mean, the bottom, when it comes down to it, you know the details of that. But if I'm doing my job, she doesn't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah. And what if she did, though? Like, what if you got one of those that they're going to do it one way or the other?
Then, I mean, obviously, every situation's unique. But I always turn the mirror on myself first.
Yeah.
Always. Guaranteed. The guy that blames something else, he'll spend the rest of his life doing that.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, I agree that it is the dude's fault. But in some cases, like it's not every case. You know, she a hoe.
Unique, yeah. Every situation.
And or you don't know what you're doing with her. You might know what you're doing with your last five, but not her. And maybe she's crazy. Maybe she a freak. Like I told my wife one time, we were arguing a little bit, and I said, hey, you know, I think I'm gonna maybe go out and get some new. And she said, get up there another inch. It's all new. I said, damn. I
I like your wife, dude. Your wife and my wife would get on perfectly.
Dude, when I decided I'm going to marry her, we go to this family reunion of mine. And again, I come from a blue collar, wild ass, redneck, freaking goofball family. And so we, you know, and we're going up there, and I when I moved away, like I don't really go back, you know, I'm like pretty much gone, but every once in a while, you know, I'll go back. So they're having a family reunion. I'm never there. I say, come on, we're going to my family reunion. I'm thinking, oh God. And besides that, it was a test to kind of see what, you know, how she would act. Cause like, if you see where I'm from and you still want to be with me, well then cool. So I bring her up there, and my uncle and a couple of my brothers and I forget, a couple cousins, they're all drinkers. They're all drinking, drunk, standing around the campfire. And my uncle wants to freaking have a dick measuring contest.
Literally. Holy shit.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, babe.
That's redneck, brother.
Oh yeah, they're out there. Who got the bigger dick? So
I thought it was a figure of speech. Though.
No. They're all pulling out their dicks. Weird. I told you it's a whack family. So they're over there and they're telling me, Bradley, get over here. And I'm like, babe, sorry about this. Like, dude, see, this is why I don't come to these things. You know, I'm making excuses. And they're razzing me. And I'm like, guys, no, stupid. You guys look stupid. I ain't doing it. And my uncle says, get over here. And I said, no. She goes, go. And I said, babe, I'm not doing that shit. She said, why not? I said, I'm not pulling out my dick. And she goes, pull out enough to win.
Dude, I like this lady.
Yeah. I said, that's a good one. I like this girl. So at the end of the day, we don't have any issues, but there's dudes out there. They got issues with their girl. Yep. They don't take responsibility. They want to blame. It's a blame game. Yep. And I think if more dudes just took responsibility. Yep. So like, I'm just wondering because you coach them on a regular basis, when they start to talk about sex and women and divorce, like, aren't you worried about like causing divorces or?
I mean, brother, when it comes down to it, I mean, I'm sure you've heard plenty of this, you know, when someone starts to level up, right? There's always a solid chance that some of the people around them are not going to like that. And a lot of times they'll leave. But when it comes down to it, you got to kind of, the relationships that are going to leave you are not the ones that you really want anyway.
So what do you say to a dude that loves his woman so much that he would stay in a bitch position just to keep her?
I mean, usually when it comes to a situation like that, what I try to do is I try to convince him to get her to participate. Because if she starts to participate, they start growing together. But unfortunately, there are situations where, and it's heartbreaking when a relationship with someone's life is damaged because they chose to grow and the people around them chose not to.
Yeah.
It sucks. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, you want to, you know, life is hard. Choose your heart. It's fucking hard to be broke. It's hard to be rich. It's hard to be whatever you want. The question is, choose your heart, you know? And if you want a better life, you're going to end up surrounding yourself with people like yourself. It's the law of attraction. It's the vibration. And so is it suck sometimes when that shit happens, but someone made a choice.
At the end of the day, it's choice, isn't it? That's it. Well, here's what I try to convince people, folks, pay attention, especially if you're in this situation. Here's what I say. I say, if you're willing to do that for your wife, that means you just love her and you'll do anything for her. You die for her. And they're like, yeah, that's right. And I'd say, well, again, if you really, truly love her that much, okay, the best thing you can do for her is to forget her needs and worry about your needs. Go focus on yourself. Make it to where you're the most important person in your life. Trust me, just make you number one priority. And if you really love her that much, that is the best thing you can do. And that is how you give her 100% of you, is to go focus on you. And trust me, as soon as you start doing that, you get a little momentum, and pretty soon you start to like see things different. And it's all of a sudden like, wait a minute, I'm not willing to get in that position for anyone. And then your woman, she starts fucking you again.
I mean, and when it comes down to it, when you focus on you, you level up, you take care of the ones you love better. And if, you know, your sex life resparking is part of that equation, perfect.
It will.
Yeah, 100%.
Because a lot of dudes out there that can't get their girls to want to have sex with them, it's because they're worried more about the girl than themselves, and she wants you to be a man.
Yeah, think about what did she fall in love with? You're probably not resembling that. You're a broke down, fat, tired version of that. Who wants to screw that? She doesn't. So take care of yourself. Get back into that fighting shape that she fell in love with, and she's going to get all hot and bothered, and you're going to go right back to having great sex.
Yeah, and if you don't, make sure you don't move into anybody or next to anybody that's like single and good looking. Because again, I mean, I try to tell guys like, dude, if your biggest fear is your girl cheating on you, you're bringing that into the freaking universe. Like you're giving off that energy where you constantly worry about it, and then you finally catch them. I knew it. Well, that's probably a factor. Like,
be the guy that chicks want to fuck.
Yeah, and you're
in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and care less. That's the ones they want.
Yeah.
They want the ones that don't necessarily care. In a good way.
Yeah.
Because people always get that wrong. So I'm supposed to be a dick? No, you're not supposed to be a dick. You're supposed to be a man. Okay. Worry about yourself. Go make you the best version of you. Like, care about yourself as much as you care about her. If you truly care about her that much, care about yourself that much. And dude, watch the difference. Like, start hitting the gym, start getting some ambition, start trying to build something, start putting her second. You know, quit putting her first. Dude, I guarantee you that shit works. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it works. It's like, dude, a girl wants somebody that's like, wow, he's going somewhere. I want to go with him. Most guys are sitting there, anything you want, babe. Okay, babe, I won't work out if you don't want me to work out, babe. Babe. And then some dude walks by that doesn't give a shit, and bang, your girl's gone. It's like crazy. It doesn't make sense. I need to start what's called, a lot of women DM me and ask, you know, hey, do you coach men how to be men? And I'm like, I don't necessarily know the way to go. I'm old fashioned. It all started when I said, if you're not making enough money and you have a good woman and she's spending more than you make, then you need to make more.
Yeah.
And the girls started sharing that with their dudes. 100%. People started calling me a simp, and I'm like, dude, it has nothing. If she's a good woman, she wouldn't out earn or spend your income if she's good. And if she is, that means you're not making enough.
Yes.
It doesn't mean I'm a simp. And a lot of guys just want to go simp, you're a simp. Dude, you keep thinking like that, dude, and your girl's going to be fucking that simp, because I'm telling you, you need to take responsibility, make some money, go make yourself number one, go make your dream number one, and watch what your girl does.
When literally what you're describing is raising your vibration.
Period.
She's attracted to that, doesn't even know why.
Yeah. And when she met you, that's probably what you were doing. Yeah. And then you got whipped.
Yeah, you were young, swinging dick, and that's what you fell in love with. Now you're tired and you're pathetic and you're not worried about yourself. Well, neither is she.
Now it doesn't swing, it just wiggles. I always tell people, listen, take off all your clothes, walk across the room. If it bounces, you got work to do. It needs to swing. Folks, listen, you guys want more? Go follow him at the Jon Andersen. That's JON E at the end, not O-N-E-N, Andersen. Folks, you already know who he is, and now you definitely do. Appreciate you coming in.
Fun conversation.
And as always, till next time, keep it real.